His dunks have made him a star, but it's going to be the 15-foot jumper that's going to make him a superstar. Still an erratic shooter from the mid-range position.
A lot of friendly exchanges before this one, Clyde.
Yep, but you can know the fire is burning inside of these players now.
Knicks 16 and 10, the Raptors 14 and 11. And Ewing wins the opening tip. Again, he'll go against an old foe, Antonio Davis, the former Pacer. Davis used to guard Ewing quite a bit. In fact, he guarded him better than Rick Smits when he was with Indiana, but he starts off on Larry Johnson. Houston fires the jumper. That's good. Allen Houston quickly hits.
And before the game, Allen was out working on his shooting. Most of the time he was working on a three-point shot. That time just inside of the three-point arc.
Now Larry Johnson will start defensively on Carter. Sprewell has Christie, and you see Houston on Alvin Williams. Williams knocks it down.
Williams playing in place of D. Brown. Brown out tonight. Nice baseline jumper that time by Williams.
Alvin Williams, former Villanova star, is kind of a tweener between a 1 and a 2, not a pure point guard. So looks for his offense quite a bit. Sprewell gets it. Williams went for a steal. And Sprewell puts in his first shot.
So the Knicks 2 for 2. Previously Houston, this time Spree.
Last game, the Knicks missed their first 13 from the field, but they start off perfect here. And a quick 2-point lead.
They want Carter this time. Good denial by LJ in Houston.
Carter can post up, can shoot mid-range, also has three-point range as well.
That's the shot that will make him a superstar. Now LJ has to come up and defend him. That's going to open up his penetration game.
So 4 shots, 2 by each team, and they've all been made. Something we don't normally see early on. Sprewell again with Williams on him. Sprewell, a good post-up player. Nice move inside. The glass won't go. Ewing kept it alive, but it went right to Alvin Williams. Williams kicks it up. Nice feed inside. Carter fouled. Larry Johnson grabbed him, and Carter will shoot a couple.
Williams had a career-high 12 assists last night. So a good push this time by the 6'5 Williams to find Carter. So LJ with 1 foul, he can ill afford another. So LJ, a little pressure on him now, folks, as he's defending Carter.
Well, Clyde, you were right. Just before tip-off, Larry Johnson and Carter hugging each other. Not such a different kind of hug on that play. As Carter with the first free throw is good. Carter, 2 guys on this team who stays on him. Charles Oakley and Antonio Davis, great influences. Carter has even admitted sometimes he gets caught up in all the flash and the dunks. The 3-game losing streak kind of brought him back down, but Oakley and Davis let him know when he gets carried away with the individual stuff.
An interesting article in the paper today, Oakley saying that Carter does not have the fire and desire that Michael had in practice, meaning that Carter has to work harder when he's in his practice session.
Houston, a 3. Allen Houston off to a good start. He's 2 for 2. Although Oakley did add that no one has that kind of fire that Jordan had in practice. But when they make the comparisons, and that's what everyone is saying, according to Oakley, Jordan in practice played it like it was a game. Every shot in practice was important. As Oakley misses, Ewing lost it off his leg, and it's going to be Raptor ball.
So the Oakley wanted a foul on the play. Canby hounded him all the way to the hoop. Ewing lost the handle underneath the hoop. Now the Raptors will inbound.
They look inside. Davis not expecting it. And Antonio Davis, so many years with the Pacers.
Davis has to take that shot. Mick Ewing is not going to contest him 18 feet away.
Carter in and out. Canby high for the rebound. Houston the other way. Knicks an early 2-point lead. Johnson posting up Antonio Davis. Davis an excellent post defender.
Christie's going to be looking to double.
Johnson in there, flips it up left-handed, does not go. Canby close to picking up a foul, but wisely backed off.
Oakley averaging 5 bounds a game, only 5 points a game.
Antonio Davis, the line drive, and that's a shot he has picked up. Terrific addition. In fact, when he was traded for Jonathan Bender, the rookie, the high school rookie, a number of Pacers very upset with that deal, Clyde. They felt that he was a key player.
Yeah, I think they gave away their title aspirations giving up that man.
Ewing against Oakley. Bad pass from Johnson, picked off by Carter, and Allen Houston fouls him. Let's see if it's a clear path. No. Allen Houston was just ahead of him. Again, the foul call. They're going to discuss it, Kenny Maurer and Rashawn Michelle. If there was no one in front of Carter, then he gets 2 free throws.
Carter averaging 1 steal. We mentioned the versatility in his game. So not just a dunker, and they will allow him to shoot 2. The breakaway. So good anticipation there, good hands. Houston with the foul, Carter at the line. Previously he made the first, missed the second.
So they do call the clear path foul. Again, if a player is ahead of the pack and is fouled from behind when he has a clear path to the basket and what would be an easy layup. Regardless if it's in the act of shooting, they put the player at the free throw line. But if Houston had gotten in front of him before the foul, then it just would have been taken out on the side.
Carter, 75% shooter from the line, averaging 23 points, 6 bounds, 3 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal. We just saw the steal to put him on the line.
So Carter hits a pair, and he's got 4 of the 9 points. Carter, again, not only the leading scorer, but it's every night. 10 straight games he's led the team in scoring. Sprewell spots up for 3. Long rebound out to Christie. Raptors like to run.
That time the Raptors were double teaming the ball.
And Sprewell foul call on him.
Which they did not do in the first possessions. They did not look to double team. That time they did double team. So they're changing their defense up on the Knicks now because of the good perimeter shooting, especially by Houston.
Childs and street close. Second straight game. The lower back pain. It's better, he says, but still not ready. Still on a day-to-day. Antonio Davis against Ewing, dragging his pivot foot, and then threw it away. So Davis will come the other way. Of course, when Childs returns, Clyde, and you've got Houston and Sprewell in the starting backcourt. Now Charlie Ward coming off the bench. Somebody else's minutes is going to get squeezed a bit. But Jeff Van Gundy said he'll worry about that when Childs is back and ready to play.
That's a good worry.
Ball deflected by Oakley and a steal. Oakley throws it ahead, but throws it nearly off the backboard, and it's picked up by Johnson.
Yeah, they think Carter really is Superman if he can go and get those type of passes.
Oakley leads the team in steals as Camby short on his shot, and Oakley with another rebound.
The Raptors are running, but in vain. They have nothing to show.
Oh, Vince Carter, and there's the first of what may be many.
Yeah, that was the master blaster. Previously, Oakley tried to hit him with a pass like that. It was a ride. At that time, Carter huffing and stuffing, the crowd amazed. The Knicks also baffled. The Knicks want to talk it over.
6-0 run by the Raptors. Okay.
A lot better player than he was last year. I still think he's only operating at 60% of what he will become. But the most important thing is that he lets us drive him, and he lets us set goals for him.
Why do you think he's only operating at 60%?
Because I think at 22 or 23 years old, it's hard to get the defensive schemes right every night. I think it's easier for him to be an offensive talent, but the goal for us is for him to play at 90% against playoff teams. And he's not doing that yet. He's had some games where defensively, from understanding what we're doing, he's laid an egg. We've been able to address it, and he gets it cleaned up right away.
Vince Carter has 7 of the 11 Raptor points. His coach, Butch Carter, no relation, has been watching this young talent get a little bit better. And he told MSG's Michael Kay that Vince Carter's improvement is certainly continuing.
He's a lot better player than he was last year. I still think he's only operating at 60% of what he will become. But the most important thing is that he lets us drive him, and he lets us set goals for him.
Why do you think he's only operating at 60%?
Because I think at 22 or 23 years old, it's hard to get the defensive schemes right every night. I think it's easier for him to be an offensive talent, but the goal for us is for him to play at 90% against playoff teams. And he's not doing that yet. He's had some games where defensively, from understanding what we're doing, he's laid an egg. We've been able to address it, and he gets it cleaned up right away.
So Carter has just wowing everybody wherever he goes. And again, the total package is Charles Oakley committing the foul, Camby trying to get inside, and Camby hitting the first free throw.
And that's very ironic. The two players that were traded for each other. Camby, former second-round pick overall in the draft by the Raptors before being traded for the Oakman.
Camby said this game meant a lot to him, that he watched it on the schedule. John Wallace and Camby both talked about it, both former Raptors. Meanwhile, you have several former Knicks, including Doug Christie and Charles Oakley. John Thomas as well, but he hardly played. Very quick stint. Oakley with his first jumper. Johnson a rebound. But that trade, without question, Clyde, benefited both teams. Ewing, and he's fouled by Carter. Shot won't go. Wouldn't have counted anyway before the shot, so Vince Carter picks up his first.
Early on, Knicks fans did not like it, and I was one of them when it was made. But Marcus came on with fury in the playoffs. No one is talking about any longer the trade with for Charles Oakley.
Camby is such a huge plus, certainly now for the Knicks, but down the line in the future, Oakley was going to be a free agent. In fact, he re-signed a 3-year deal with Toronto and had a tremendous 10-year career here in New York with the Knicks. But the Knicks, to commit a lot of money to someone who was getting older, was the right move at the time.
Not only that, the Knicks needed to get taller. They were one of the shortest teams in the league, and again with Ewing's injury woes, they needed some intimidation. And Camby, when he was with Toronto, led the league with blocked shots, 3.5. That season, the Knicks only averaged 3.5 as a team.
Christie, tough shot, knocks it down. So the Raptors back up by 3. Ironically, one of the reasons Oakley was traded was because of the playoff series against Indiana the year before, where guys like Antonio Davis of the Pacers gave him so many problems. Then you see the next year, Davis is traded away because the Pacers wanted to get younger and more athletic. 5 on the shot clock.
See, they've tightened up their D now, double teaming the ball.
Ewing wide open. Nails the jumper as the shot clock expires. Sprewell, excellent penetration and kick out.
That's why Spree leads the team in addition now with 4 games. Ewing the recipient along the baseline.
As we've been saying, Sprewell's total game has been superb this season. The passing, the defense, the rebounding. Carter, tough pull away shot, knocks it in.
Acrobatics of Carter that time. That's not a good shot, folks. All of that creativity is good when it goes in, but he has to get better balance on the jumper.
Knicks down by 3. We're midway through the first. And it's still going to be Knick ball 11 on the shot clock. Raptors shooting 6 of 9 from the field.
So the Raptors also have tightened up their defense now. The Knicks not getting those easy opportunities.
Houston misses the 3. Williams 1-on-2. Nice feed inside to Christie. And that's the fast break that Toronto loves to run.
And that's why teams are looking for athleticism in the players that they draft now. Christie 6'6", 205, uncontested for the dunk.
Again, they scored 43 points in the first quarter last night, had 75 at halftime. They can score points in a hurry, obviously. Sprewell and Johnson play catch. Sprewell on the pull-up. And Latrell Sprewell now with 4 points.
Good screen. LJ always said a nice screen to free up Spree, that time along the baseline.
Both teams shooting the ball well early. Knicks at 50%.
It's been a half-court game other than the transition dunk.
Oakley misfires. Davis gets the rebound over Ewing, and they're going to call a loose ball foul.
Ewing not boxing out. So Davis with better agility than Ewing right now, and quickness coming up with the rebound.
Johnson the foul. Reaching in after Davis grabbed it, so Charlie Ward will come in. And Larry Johnson will sit. Again, Jeff Van Gundy says the #1 reason why he goes with the big lineup, but not necessarily the big backcourt, but rather the big front court, because you have Latrell Sprewell at a small forward, Larry Johnson at a power forward. That's undersized for sure, and against certain big teams, it can cause problems. But also, you look at the matchup problems that Houston and Sprewell cause. Camby inside, can't complete. Davis the rebound.
Camby point-blank range, and now the ball has arrived. The Raptors retain it.
Tracy McGrady has come in for Toronto.
See, now the Knicks in the penalty, folks. They will pay for their folly. So we're midway to the first quarter. Knicks in the penalty. The Raptors are going to shoot 2.
Ewing picks up his first. And Antonio Davis will go to the line.
Knicks continue to be among the leaders in fouls. And obviously it's going to hurt them now.
Davis is getting to the free throw line quite a bit, second on the team behind Carter. As we check our Atlantic Division American Express standings, Knicks just one game back of the Miami Heat. And Orlando in third. Doc Rivers just a tremendous job down with the Magic.
Overachieving.
Davis misses both. Oakley, the offensive rebound, gets Camby up in the air. Ewing with the block. Knicks have the numbers the other way. Camby tripped up by Davis from behind. Inadvertent, but nonetheless. And Marcus Camby will take the ball out of bounds, or the Knicks will, as Davis picks up his first.
So that possession a calamity for the Raptors. Watch the Oak man inside. Ewing said, no, bro. And then Camby inadvertently tripped. None shooting. The Knicks have it in the front court.
Butch Carter says there's a lot of sweat down in the paint on the other side from Oakley going to the floor, so
yeah,
they'll mop it up.
Whenever Oakley falls, it's wet. He likes to work up a good perspiration during the warm-up. Spree previously canned a jumper along the baseline, and now an illegal defense call on the Raptors.
First, so just a warning, Knicks will inbound. 4:32 left here in the first. Knicks down 3. Butch Carter just got a 3-year, $9 million contract extension yesterday for the Raptors, taken through the year 2003.
The older brother of Chris Carter, the Minnesota Vikings, and Carter also played with the Knicks.
Yep. Sprewell spotting up. Ewing down low. Carter's on him. Ewing turns, shoot blocked from behind by McGrady.
Not a good shot by Ewing. No elevation on that shot.
Carter tried to thread the needle, deflected though by one of the Knicks, and still Raptors ball. Crowd booing, but someone deflected it on its way through.
So the Knicks not boxing out. The Raptors getting second opportunities, but can't capitalize. Previously, the Oak man had a shot rejected by Ewing.
Alvin Williams forces up a shot there. Won't go. Ball tipped. And Sprewell has it. Houston that time, all he did was box out McGrady and then try and tip the ball. Good fundamentals there.
See Spree and Houston pick up their dribbles too quickly. Have trouble passing the ball when they're double teamed.
Ewing doubled. Good ball movement. Sprewell wide open to Houston. Houston can't connect though. And Ewing can't hold on. It's going to be Raptor ball. No, they're going to say Knick ball. So John Michel changes his call.
Allen had made his first 2 shots from that same spot, a 3-pointer and a deuce from there, but misfiring on that one. So Ewing has been doing an excellent job of rebounding, but now he will take a seat as Thomas will check in.
Thomas in for the first time.
So the Knicks getting smaller, of course, whenever Patrick leaves the game. The Knicks smallest team, one of the smallest teams in the league.
Houston knocked by Oakley, and a blocking foul called on Oakley. It'll be his second, and the 14th foul.
And we often mention about Houston, the difference in his game this season as opposed to last season. More dribble penetration by Allen. And it's manifested in his free throw attempts and also in his scoring. The first time in his career, he's averaged over 20 points or more per game, as he's doing now to lead the Knicks.
Misfires on the first, has been a little inconsistent at the free throw line, but can't emphasize enough. As you see the last 3 games, again, the numbers way up. For him to be shooting 49% from the field and averaging that at this point in the season. Every year of his career, every year without exception, he has had slow starts in November and December. It's a good sign, certainly, for the Knicks, because he's always come up big down the stretch and has been a big playoff performer.
McGrady, speaking of big, this kid straight out of high school is the second leading scorer for the Raptors off the bench.
An immense amount of talent from McGrady as well. Knicks down 2. Charlie Ward, penetration, gets it to Camby. Camby tiptoes the baseline, trying to just kind of finagle it in there, wouldn't go.
He couldn't believe he was so open. Didn't know what to do.
And there's Muggsy Bogues, smallest player in the history of the NBA, and still going strong. They lob it into Antonio Davis. Oakley on the tip.
Yeah, good move by Charles, always hustling around the offensive glass.
Knicks down 4, under 3 to play. Oakley 2 points, 5 rebounds already.
Carter now on Spree.
Sprewell. Shot won't go. Oakley dives and tips it to McGrady.
Familiar scenario for the Oak man and Knicks fans.
McGrady into Carter. Nice catch. Sprewell the foul. Then Carter rams it through with a chance for a 3-point play.
There you see the omnipotence of Carter. That time the reverse dunk, and he will shoot one as well.
Time by 3 points. Would they have gone to overtime? Would they have won the game were it not for Charlie Ward? We'll never know. But here is the winning difference at the end of the first half. A three-pointer that was good. Not the first time for Charlie Ward. Back in November at Golden State from 55. In the net. But it didn't count. So what? Looked great. February 25th. Knicks, Minnesota. 45-footer. Off the glass. Charlie Ward. Obviously good from long distance. Interesting sidelight, though, Mike and Clyde. You know, when you look back, the Knicks won by 3, and he hit that wild 3. That's the difference.
Certainly was in the overtime game, and because of his prowess from that distance, there is now a set play in the playbook for Charlie Ward from half court.
And obviously there's set plays for this man, and whenever he's gotten underneath the basket, he's been able to dunk the ball. So 2 provocative stuffs for Vince thus far.
Carter, 12 points here in the first quarter. The lead is 7. John Wallace in the game. Small lineup in there now for the Knicks. Actually, not that small with Wallace, Thomas, and Camby up front. Thomas wide open, hesitated. Muggsy Bogues knocked it out of his hands. Still Nick Ball. 8 on the shot clock.
Bogues 5'3", folks. So all you kids out there can no longer say you're too short to be in the NBA. Only 141 pounds.
His 13th year in the league. Who would have thought that would happen? And a lot of great years, too.
All with the Hornets.
He's 34 years old and still playing well. Houston, McGrady knocked it away. Houston got it back. And a travel on Allen Houston.
Good D job by McGrady, smothering Houston, forcing the turnover.
Knicks with their 3rd turnover.
And when Bogues was there's the kid out of high school making a quantum leap to the NBA. He's a free agent after this season, so he's looking for big bucks.
Hard to believe this is his 3rd year as Charlie Ward picks up the first foul. I mean, you look at a guy like Tracy McGrady. He's 20 years old right now, yet he's far from the youngest player in the league. There are 6 teenagers in the NBA this year.
Yep, and they continue to draft the high school players. They're the didacticism of Carter now working with McGrady.
Meanwhile, Muggsy Bogues to the line where he has not missed a free throw this season.
You got it, Mike.
He was 23 for 23, but before we move ahead, first spell didacticism, and then tell me what the meaning is.
Just a coaching philosophy. So remember when Bogues was in Charlotte, the kids used to come to his house and knock on the door and say, "Can Bugsy come out and play with us?"
Right. And he would sometimes.
I think Bogues has 3 kids of his own.
He's a real gentleman. It shows you his competitiveness to be in the league this long when a lot of people thought it would never happen. See the Knicks struggling offensively now. John Wallace, though, dumps it in.
I think the most astounding thing that I've seen in the pro game is that Bogues could not only make the NBA but have an impact, and Spud Webb winning the dunk contest at 5'7".
It's amazing when you think of the size, yet these guys, what they're able to do. Oakley kicks it out. Carter fakes the 3. Wallace goes for the fake. McGrady inside, and a foul on Dudley. And now McGrady will shoot a couple.
And this kid is 6'8", 210. You see how elusive he is. So a nice dish from Carter, and they are cousins, McGrady and Carter. Carter, native of Daytona Beach, Florida.
And to show you how young, again, McGrady is, his hoop idol, his basketball idol, Penny Hardaway. You see from last season's playing more minutes, the numbers are up. Each year, his numbers have gotten gradually better.
And he's spectacular as well. He's a very inspirational player on the court. We saw his defensive prowess previously the last possession by the Knicks, forcing Houston into a turnover.
And he struggled his rookie year, especially off the court. He was lonely. He didn't handle the professional life well. Wallace stripped out of his hands. Dudley picks it up. Dudley a couple of dribbles, back out. Wallace will take the open jumper, knock it in.
2 consecutive hoops by Wallace, the former Raptor. Kind of come see, come saw pace to this one. Only Carter's highlights have punctuated some dramaticism in the game.
Just a flick of the wrist there on Carter. Now with 14 points here in the first quarter. He's 5 of 6 from the field, and he's already taken 5 free throws. Wallace, double team.
Good hands by Willis.
Telegraphed the pass, knocked out of his hands, ball loose. And it's going to be Nick Ball. Good second effort from Dudley and Wallace there after the initial lost ball.
The Raptors with an excellent mix of old players and young players. So the youth there, and Oakley and Willis providing stability, coaching the younger players.
Ward lobs it up top. Very active defensively with their hands. Houston, one dribble, fires, knocks it in. Allen Houston now with 8 points.
Thomas with a good screen to free him up.
You know, it's one of the first things you learn as a kid to play defense. Use your hands. You don't see a lot of players using it, but the Raptors are.
Good shot that time.
McGrady. Both McGrady and Carter, if they develop consistent mid-range jumpers and they're getting there, they're unstoppable one-on-one.
Yep, because that opens up the penetration game.
Kurt Thomas pulls up, knocks it in.
So now they're dishing and switching, both teams with uncanny perimeter shooting.
You like seeing on that play, Clyde, as Thomas got the ball up near the three-point line, but saw all the open distance, took the couple of dribbles and gave himself a better shot.
Yeah, good savvy. You know, most players do not do that. So the Knicks have been in the penalty early on. No fouls to give here.
McGrady makes the move. Houston tried to knock it out of his hands, and he did, but still Raptor ball, 5.2 seconds remaining.
Excellent denial of the baseline that time by Houston.
In a 20-second timeout called by Butch Carter.
And if you wonder why he's doing it with 5 seconds remaining, you get one in each half. So if you don't use it, you lose it.
And a good time right now to set up a final play with a 5.2 here. The Raptors on the road this season, 5-5. That's a good number. Again, especially for the younger teams, if you go 500 on the road and play pretty dominant basketball at home, you're in good shape.
But they were off to an auspicious beginning. And then, as you mentioned, they lost 4 of their last 5 before beating the Nets last night. So consistency has been a problem.
Willis takes the shot, puts it in with Dudley right up on him. 1.7 seconds remaining. Houston will get it. Houston from half court, off the side of the rim. See, there was the play for Charlie Ward, Clyde.
Yeah, almost the same spot.
Carter, 14 points in the first quarter. Knicks down by 8.
Mr. Vince Carter, Air Canada, Flug Nummer 15. Zuerst etwas bodenständig aus der Distanz, dann Anspiel von Da Christie und er fliegt wieder, auch im Madison Square Garden. Vince Carter, tolles Anspiel auch von Da Christie. Aber wenn einer so springen kann, dann kann man ihm den Ball überall servieren. Ganz lässig mit einer Hand. Natürlich Larry Johnson zu langsam. Dann à la Jordan. Fadeaway Jumper. Da war die Defense etwas zu spät mit Foul. Vince Carter 14 Punkte für die Nummer 15. Wir freuen uns auf mehr.
Must maybe get swift back at you, know what I'm saying? Y'all want to be dead, right? That's all good, baby. All right, cuz. It's on. I got a distinct reputation for pimping, game and chin checking. Psychotic monster of the midway, always known for sex wrecking. Southside roller, snatching sellouts by the collar. I bring your mental fluid to the point that makes you wanna holler. Call me AK, the walking epitome of parlay. The only living prototype that make that thing come alive and get hype. Ain't it a pity how you fools sip like wet titties and have enough to get in my face without the heart for the nitty gritty? Nigga, please, I'm all up in you like disease. Mechanic type degrees is how I swang these. Don't even attempt to psychoanalyze my scripture. A 50 caliber trainer thought would get ya. You bitch ya. I readjust your alignment. Let my finger check the climate. Cause AK is shining like a diamond. Conventional weapon making all your hopes darker. With no resistance, bring it to like Clyde Barker.
I think we have a very good team here. I'm not going to try to mess anything up. I'm just trying to fit in right now. But I'm going to be me.
You know, Clyde, that's really the first time he's publicly said that he's just trying to fit in. His actions have always said it, but because of his stubbornness and sometimes his relationship with the media that's not always that good, he doesn't want to admit that stuff, but he's been doing that, as he says, for the past several years.
And I think in his heart he is doing it. He's giving more interviews and talking about it, so we're seeing a different Patrick Ewing.
But he has rarely said, come right out publicly and said, I'm just trying to fit in. He's always been a proud player, but his actions have said it. It's just first time it's come out of his mouth that, you can remember.
The
But
baffling part there is he says, I'm always going to be me. What does that mean?
well, it means that he's going to be confident in what he can do, and that's what. And we'll hear more of that interview again at halftime coming up. It's a long interview originally seen on MCS Cannon Game Night. Houston lobs it into Wallace. Wallace hammered. Apparently, Jeff Van Gundy can't believe no call, but goes the other way. Wallace didn't argue that much, so maybe it was a clean block from Willis.
The Knicks have a heralded bench. They have to step up now. Both teams with their second units in the game, and the Knicks have to try to close this gap.
Offensive foul on McGrady. Good defensive play from Charlie Ward as McGrady lowered the shoulder, picks up his first.
The Raptors haven't played last night. Christie, the only starter currently in the game. They didn't really assert themselves last night as they blew the nets out, but now their second unit trying to protect this lead.
Knicks down by 10. Wallace inside on McGrady, forces it up, shot is good, and a foul. John Wallace has been instant offense. He's 3 for 3 from the field, 6 points in just 5 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hoops along the baseline. This time good manipulation in the paint. Watch Wallace shake and bake right there on McGrady. There was a foul. If you're going to foul someone, make sure they do not make the basket. So poor D by McGrady. First of all, letting Wallace post inside of him and then fouling him and not preventing him from making the basket.
They were teammates in Toronto last year. Vince Carter back in the game. Carter's averaging 36 minutes a game. As Wallace misses the free throw, Dudley does a good job tipping it out.
Yeah, and the Knicks, the worst offensive bounding team, get another opportunity.
Houston short, Carter the rebound. Here comes Christie. McGrady on the pull-up.
So after canning one jumper, McGrady now misfired on his last 2 possessions.
Ward will set it up. Knicks down 8, just over 2 minutes gone by in the second.
To go back to Wallace, he's having success against McGrady. This time McGrady fronts him as he should do.
And Wallace draws the foul. Wallace will shoot a couple as Willis this time called for it. So just over 2 minutes gone by second quarter. Free throws coming up. Knicks down 8. Different uniform yesterday as Dudley made an appearance at the NBA store in Midtown Manhattan. Did so for the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation, which Dudley is a diabetic and something he's very involved in. Talks to the kids quite a bit, signed his autographs, played Santa Claus, gave out some gifts.
Even teaching them how to shoot free throws. That was generous.
But he is one of the most community-aware professional athletes you'll find, and did a great job with the kids. And you just have to admire his professionalism, Clyde, because he's always ready to play regardless. Again, he was starting to get some quality minutes just before Ewing came back. Started some games, was playing well. Now all of a sudden he's not playing anymore. In fact, he's only seen since Ewing's return. Played 1 game a scoreless minute, then played 12 minutes the other day, but he sat out 4 games. But he's always coming out ready to play, never complains about his minutes, wants to play more, is desperate to play more, but just as a pro in every sense of the word.
Yep. He and Lang bring a lot of professionalism off the bench for the Knicks. So Wallace now creating havoc for his former team, the Raptors. The mismatch with he and McGrady. McGrady now looking to exploit him on the perimeter.
Christie against Sprewell. Bogues holds it. 5 on the shot clock. Carter fires, knocks it in. Carter now 6 of 7 from the field.
Lethal shooting by Carter. So he has a couple of dunks, but also showing infinite range with the jumper.
He started all summer long. The day he got NBA Rookie of the Year, he went to Butch Carter and gave him an off-season program. And he worked all season long on shooting and ball handling skills as Wallace again puts it in. John Wallace, 10 points in 6 minutes of play. He's 4 for 4 from the field.
That time hooping off the glass. He likes to post on the left side so he can use the glass and also elude the double team.
McGrady.
Carter looking for more.
Goes right by Kurt Thomas. Forced that one up. Yes. Thomas grabs the board.
Carter should have used glass that time because he was off balance. Ward can't get by Muggsy.
Muggsy can still move. Always a good defender. Thomas, quick shot. Dudley tips it out. Ball knocked loose. Kurt Thomas comes away.
Those are the intangibles of Dudley now, keeping the ball alive.
Sprewell drives. Scoop is beautiful. Shot by Latrell Sprewell.
feline quickness by Spree. What teams are doing is forcing Spree to his left. That time he went with the left hand, but eluded them down the pace.
And the Knicks are within 4 with just about 4 minutes gone by here in the second.
And the pace has quickened now.
They go over the top to Willis. Christie wide open. That's a three-pointer. Shot is short. Sprewell grabs the board.
Good D by Christie. Spree spins away.
Gets the pass off to Thomas. Quick shot. And Carter another rebound. He's got 4. Quick outlet to Christie the other way. Christie's going to try it again. McGrady and Thomas go for it. Kurt Thomas falls out of bounds, so the Raptors will take it.
Thomas omnipresent on the glass now, so doing a good job. Also Sprewell helping out, but this time the Raptors retain it underneath. The Raptors not showing good spacing or creativity in transition. They should get the ball to the center of the court.
Wallace now on Carter. Carter pulls up. I was just about to say that's not a good shot.
Right, until it went in. Good D by Wallace. Had a hand in his face, but to no avail.
Antonio Davis was saying that the other day. He says sometimes you're ready to get on Carter saying, hey, that's a bad shot, but then he sinks it. What are you going to say to him? Wallace puts it in again. John Wallace putting on a show of his own.
Wallace invincible now. That time off the dribble.
And a foul away from the ball. Sprewell has just picked up his 3rd.
And he's complaining. He better watch it. So that time Christie was trying to post him up.
First team foul against the Knicks.
Spree still arguing his case. He knows he will come out of the game now.
Sprewell close to picking up a technical as Houston comes in.
Wallace wheeling and dealing off the dribble. You can see the Raptors are not double teaming the ball or giving any help on the strong side defense that time.
Bogue setting it up. Knicks down by 4.
They want Davis. Good fronting there by Thomas.
Davis gets it. Dudley to double team. Muggsy pulls the jumper. And a foul. But the foul is away from the ball. A loose ball foul is going to go against the Toronto Raptors.
Looked like Willis and Thomas were embroiled in something inside.
So Kevin Willis called for his 2nd. The shot will count. And now we're going to have a timeout, I believe. So take the timeout. Just over 5 minutes gone by in the second. Knicks down.
Man tonight, so he might influence your thinking. So he's had 2 invigorating dunk shots.
Sprewell certainly one of the most electrifying as well. Carter, by the way, recently admitted that he doesn't play hard all the time for 4 quarters, and it's something he has to work on. Christie on a steal. Lazy pass from Wallace.
Wallace after him.
But a lazy pass from Kurt Thomas. Knicks turn it over. And the reason they don't call a technical on that hanging on the rim was because if an opponent is underneath the basket and you're holding himself up there so you don't crash on them and hurt yourself, it's allowed.
Remember Eddie Jones last night? He's out 3 to 6 weeks. He did injure his elbow on a fall in a similar play like Christie just made.
Charlie Ward rattles in a 3. Ward is now shooting 41% from 3-point range.
And he was out early practicing his 3-point shot. So sometimes practice makes perfect.
Knicks down 5. We approach the midway point of the second. Carter running shot won't go. Kurt Thomas another rebound. He's got 5 already in the first half. And the Knicks will set up the offense again.
Ward exuded the confidence that time between the leg dribble.
Wallace pulls up. Kurt Thomas the offensive rebound. A little fake and the follow is good.
No one boxing out in there. Thomas having his way as well as Wallace now igniting the Knicks on the offense.
Kurt Thomas continues to play well regardless of his role. Starter, bench player with big minutes, or bench player with limited minutes.
And the Knicks methodically have worked themselves back into the game, cutting into this lead.
Christie, Antonio Davis deep, blocked from behind. We could pick any number of people who they may call for the foul, and it's going to go against John Wallace.
So Davis will shoot 2. So Davis mediocre from the line. Previously missed 2 consecutive free throws.
Ewing back in. Dudley will sit after picking up a couple of rebounds, and Wallace sits down. 12 points in 9 minutes. He's 5 of 6 from the field.
Averages 6 points a game. So he was the focal point of the offense.
And Clyde, that stretch was precisely why Jeff Van Gundy wanted him brought to this team this year. And he has not had those kind of minutes because he has shot poorly from the field, coming in 39%. And he gets most of his shots from around the basket. He just has not been able to find any kind of consistent stroke.
Also maligned for his lack of defensive intensity is Wallace, but he's improved there and becoming more of a team player as well.
So Davis is the first. This was yesterday after Tsuni purchase. Constant working on the three-point shooting.
Ward getting tangible results tonight as he's been able to drain. Watch the confidence of Ward with the ball now. Previously between the legs, becoming more confident. He's shaking and baking now off the dribble by Charlie. Normally was playing vanilla off the dribble, then he throws it away.
Jeff Van Gundy going out of his way to praise Charlie Ward about the way he handled from starting all those games and coming off the bench. Said it's never a problem with Ward. Ward said all the right things. He says Ward wants to start and play as much as anybody else, but he just knows how to handle it the right way. And Ward just saying, hey, we won the game. What's the big deal? Nice pass from Oakley inside Davis. Kurt Thomas took it away, and they call a hell ball. Another solid play from Kurt Thomas.
Yeah, Oakley behind the back. Carter wheeling along the baseline. Thomas there to deny him. So Thomas 6'8". Davis 6'9" will jump. There's the shenanigans by Oakley. There's a good D by Thomas.
See, now coaches will call it shenanigans. Oakley will call it a great pass. Thomas wins the tip. Those are the passes. He used to try those full court passes from behind his back. They used to drive whoever was coaching the Knicks at the time crazy. Houston puts it up. They say no, not in the act of shooting. He got Carter up in the air and then put it up. Are they going to take it out of bounds? I don't know, Clyde. I think he got it off.
Yeah, it looked like he did. That's why you should stay on your feet on the defense. Once you get in the air, you're vulnerable. Allen doing the prudent thing, but it was late, the belated attempt. Watch the fake. There goes Carter. Oh.
And I've seen it on the second time around. He hit him before he got in the act of shooting.
Yeah, because he readjusted the shot. If he had continued once he had the contact, he would be at the line now.
Good call by Kenny Maurer there. Ewing stripped by Oakley. Johnson picks it up.
We saw Mason baffling Ewing because he doesn't protect the ball with his body.
Johnson reverse side, can't finish. And here comes Muggsy Bogues. Knicks down by 4. Oakley again getting fancy. And we have a whistle away from the ball. Kurt Thomas, the personal. That's going to be his first. And the Knicks' 13th foul.
Now the Raptors one foul for the penalty. Before it was the Knicks with their hacking and whacking.
Thomas having some chats with the Raptor bench.
Fatigue becoming a problem out there. You see guys huffing and puffing now.
Christie wants it. Christie at 6'6". Good post up.
Allen 6'6" as well.
And Christie knocks it in.
Christie, like Wallace, has a vendetta against the Knicks when they traded him, so you always want to play well against the team that traded you.
Knicks down 6. They trail by as many as 10. A little over 4 minutes remaining here in the second. Kurt Thomas misfires that time. McGrady to rebound.
Knicks have been trailing, but they can't get the lead or tie the game up.
McGrady goes baseline, kicks it back out. Muggsy Bogues inside. Pass goes behind McGrady, and a foul. Shot was blocked by Ewing, but a foul inside. Kurt Thomas picks up his second.
The Knicks defense porous along the baseline. We've seen Carter there. This time McGrady going there. And then Bogues able to get in the paint to get the ball back to McGrady to draw the foul.
So McGrady back to the free throw line. He's been the subject of some trade rumors, and that usually happens when a player is in the final year of his deal. And because the Raptors, they want to re-sign him, would like to keep him, but guys are going to ask for too much money. They're going to have to open up the bank for Vince Carter as Thomas will sit down for Canby.
And no team is going to trade for him because you don't know if you can keep him.
Right, very tough. So we'll have a 20-second timeout called by Van Gundy. Comes out to nearly half court to chat with his team. Ewing getting an explanation from Kenny Maurer. So 3:59 remaining in the second. Knicks down by 7.
And Christie has been creating problems for the Knicks with a steal and a dunk, posting up Houston. Also, the Raptors able to get into the paint and get to the free throw line, so the Knicks must shore up their interior D.
You see Antonio Davis, the new member. Of course, last year he was with the Pacers, played for the Pacers for a number of years. His first 6 years in the league, and was a big part of last year in the playoffs against the Knicks. Of course, the big Larry Johnson 4-point play was Antonio Davis who committed the foul on Johnson. Davis, of course, didn't like the call. Larry Bird is still haunted by the call. That forced play. Johnson hit the free throw, and that won it for the Knicks as they went on to defeat the Pacers in 6 games. Knicks and Pacers, of course, on Saturday. That game will be on NBC at the new Conseco Fieldhouse. Johnson posting up McGrady. Canby comes up. Ward, good ball movement. Houston, a 3. Back to it.
Allen Houston from downtown. He's in double figures with 11.
Yeah, good continuity that time as the double team. If you move the ball prudently, you'll find an open man. That time, Houston.
Knicks have 11 assists here in the first half. They trail by 4, 3.5 remaining in the second.
Swarming Nick D now.
Davis back out Christie. Christie from 3, way short. Hamby tips it out of bounds, and it's going to be Raptor ball.
So a little intensity at that time by the Knicks, and the crowd also getting involved with their defensive prowess.
The Raptors have depth this year, something they haven't had. Again, when you've got guys like Willis and Foles. Christie lost the handle. The sweat dripped out of his hands. He said it was tipped, but I think he just slipped out.
Christie looking to shoot every time. He's got guys open. That time had it dribbling with his head down. So good D by Allen to force the turnover.
There's Rock catching the errant pass. But you've got McGrady, Willis, Del Curry, who hasn't played at all. His heel is bothering him. And D. Brown coming off the bench. That's a good bench.
And their bench has been the catalyst for them this season as well, as McGrady's the second leading scorer off the bench.
Christie knocked it out of bounds, and it's going to beat Nick Paul. Just under 3 minutes remaining here in the second. Knicks down by 4. Some of the celebs getting into the action.
Sie behaupten also, die NASA will den Präsidenten der Vereinigten Staaten durch ein Erdbeben umbringen.
Sie halten mich für verrückt. Jeder hält mich für verrückt.
Nein, nein, Jerry, ich halte Sie nur für anders.
Mel Gibson, Julia Roberts. Eine fixe Idee.
Haben Sie Beweise für Ihre Visionen?
Absolut nicht. Eine gute Verschwörung ist unmöglich zu beweisen.
Verfolgungswahn oder reale Bedrohung.
Ich habe nicht recht. Ich habe nicht recht. Ich habe Unrecht. Ich habe Unrecht. Es ist soweit. Es ist geschehen.
Gehetzt, bedroht, missbraucht. Er wurde zum Opfer der Manipulation.
Auf Befehl von ganz oben existiert Jerry Fletcher für uns nicht mehr.
Das gefällt mir nicht.
Den Staat als Feind.
So sind Sie zu Ihren 5 Abonnenten gekommen.
Durch eine Anzeige.
Sie sind tot, 4 von den 5 zumindest. Ich habe es kontrolliert und alle innerhalb der letzten 24 Stunden.
Premiere präsentiert Psychospannung pur. Die Angst wird zur Waffe.
Eine Bombe! Und der Mann sieht eine Bombe!
Seine Vergangenheit schlägt zurück. Die brutale Jagd auf eine gequälte Seele.
Ich bin von Natur aus kein Gewaltmensch. Wenn Sie es wagen sollten, Alice auf irgendeine Weise zu verletzen oder ihr weh zu tun, dann bringe ich sie um.
Ein Thriller von Richard Donner. Fletchers Visionen im Starkino.
Anheuser-Busch salutes parents who talk to their kids about drinking. We all make a difference. Check out what MSG Network has in store for you on Christmas Eve. First at 7:30, catch all your favorite episodes of Play It Up with the Play It Up Marathon. Then Heineken's Jets Journal comes your way at 10. Next, get a recap of all the local sports action with MSG Sports Desk presented by Chevrolet at 10:30. And finally at 11, the Holiday Yule Log, wrapping up your Christmas Eve with a holiday tradition, all coming up tomorrow at 7:30 Christmas Eve on MSG. Merry Christmas, by the way, Clyde.
Yeah, same to you, Mike.
Houston, fake shot, good. Allen Houston now at 13.
And of course to all our fans out there who give us the good support. And I wish you stop asking me whenever I show up somewhere, where is Bree?
Christie underneath, reverse side way off. Oakley tips it right back to him. Christie tried to save it, but threw it at Johnson. Oakley harassing Charlie Ward.
Houston off to a good start. Has been erratic with his shooting. See the good swarming by the D now, the Raptors.
Johnson spinning inside, flips it up, won't go. And the rebound goes to Antonio Davis.
A lot of guys have been able to get inside, but cannot finish.
Knicks down by 2 as we approach 2 minutes remaining here in the second.
Closest they've been in this game since the early in the first quarter.
Knicks are down by 10. Johnson just leveled Oakley. Williams way off the mark. Johnson tips it to Ward. Ball knocked loose, picked up by Davis. And a scramble. And he'll jump it up. Let's send it to Al Troutway. Mike, we don't want to give it all away. but we have a glimpse of the Yule log. It was videotaped yesterday in glorious HD TV in an old fireplace on Plandome in Long Island. Let's just enjoy for a moment.
Where are the marshmallows?
He said, let's enjoy
I said, Clyde, let's enjoy it for a moment.
I can't without the marshmallows.
So there you have it. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful Yule log, although there are more than one log.
That was nice. And I'm not a romantic like you, Mike.
Johnson wins the tip. What'd you put in your apple cider today? Johnson against Carter. Inside, puts it up, and a foul. Larry Johnson able to put it home and draw the foul. His first field goal, the Knicks have tied it up.
Previously, LJ got inside, could not finish. This time would not be denied as he was hacked and he continued to the basket. Again, not a good defensive play, because if you're going to foul LJ, tie him up right there so he can't make the basket.
Third foul on Carter with 1:43 remaining. So the Knicks have come back from 10 down to even it up. And now with a chance to take the lead, Johnson puts in the free throw.
So good perseverance by these Knicks, and it's been a consummate team effort. The first and the second unit combining to get back into the game.
There you see, early on the Knicks had the lead. Raptors played well since then, but the Knicks slowly coming back. Carter wanted a foul. Ewing the rebound. Charlie Ward, nice move inside, flips it up and in. Gorgeous move from Charlie Ward.
We mentioned Ward showing a little shaking and baking off his dribble. That time wheeling and dealing off the glass.
And the Knicks with their largest lead here in the first half. A 10-0 run. And Ward with a little flash of his own. Kevin Willis tied up. Alvin Williams can't connect. Fight for the rebound. Willis and Davis got tangled up together, and it was tipped to Camby.
So the Knicks finishing with a flurry as LJ took his eye off the ball.
Pass a little too hard and high, and Johnson couldn't handle it. Knicks turned it over for the 7th time.
McGrady wants to clear out. He gets it now. Willis comes up top. Good D by Camby.
And illegal defense. Charles Oakley was screaming at Rashawn Michel to call it. And finally they did call it. With 40.6 seconds remaining. That's just the first, so a warning. John Wallace is going to come in, and Johnson will sit down. John Thomas comes in. Coming up, Tri-State Jeep halftime report. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep dealer. More of the interview with Patrick Ewing, a rare sit-down, a lengthy one. Gus Johnson and Patrick Ewing talking yesterday. We'll have more highlights of that, plus John Andres will join out with first-half highlights.
Williams had made up his mind that time to fake the pass and continue to the basket. Only problem, Camby was reading his mind as he impeded his way to draw the charge in violation.
So Ward will bring it up. Charlie Ward.
Orchestrating in dramatic fashion tonight.
Houston over Christie. Won't go that time. And Willis the rebound.
So no fouls to give for either team. The Raptors are going to be in the 1-4 now. Guys coming along the baseline.
Final seconds here in the second quarter.
Sometimes they'll bring a high screen up to screen off Ward, but right now you see them going along the baseline.
McGrady double team, knocked away, and it's still Raptor ball with 3.2 seconds remaining.
Good communication that time by the Knicks to smother him along the baseline, but the Raptors will have it there.
Knicks continue to play solid defense. Williams fires it up, and a 24-second violation. They're going to have to put 0.2 of a second back up on the clock.
Now they're going to call the teams back for 0.2 of a second. It seems mundane, folks, but sometimes those seconds add up and say we were going down the stretch in an important game. So it seems like frivolity by the officials right now because it's just the halftime, but they're just doing their job.
So the Knicks will just inbound, and that will do it for the half. Wallace throws it in. 0.8 of a second. Ward fires it up. Just hits the front of the rim. And Ward almost again. A long 0.8 of a second. But the Knicks finish up terrific down the stretch. A 10-0 run in the final 4 minutes. And they lead by 3, 48-45. Coming up.
Die Highlights zuerst die New York Knicks. spielbestimmende Mann. In diesem zweiten Viertel besonders, aber auch schon natürlich im ersten. Allen Houston, aber er hat New York wieder rangeführt. 50% aus dem Feld getroffen. 13 Punkte für Allen Houston in dieser ersten Halbzeit. Ganz wichtig natürlich in seiner Zeit, die er auf dem Feld hatte, John Wallace. Der Forward mit 12 Punkten. Hat fast alle seiner Würfe getroffen. 6 Würfe genommen, John Wallace. 5 getroffen. Von ihm haben wir wenig gesehen. Latrell Sprewell wird sich ganz sicher ändern. Das Duell, gerade auch auf der Gegenseite gegen Vince Carter, konnte Carter für sich entscheiden. Vince Carter, der überragende Mann im ersten Viertel, dass er mit 14 Punkten beendete. Danach im zweiten Viertel nur noch 4, aber überragende Trefferquote für die Nummer 15. 11 Würfe genommen, 7 getroffen, dazu 4 Rebounds. Und immer wieder gut für die Highlights. Was wären sie ohne ihn? Vince Carter. Dann drehte im zweiten Viertel, zu Beginn des zweiten Viertels, einer auf. Doug Christie, 50% aus dem Feld getroffen. 8 Punkte für Doug Christie, aber das Duell gegen Allen Houston hat er in diesem zweiten Viertel verloren. Und deswegen New York auch 48-45 vorne. Der kleinste Mann dieser Begegnung, Maxi Bogues. Auch er
from the line, the Raptors 9 of 15. So that's the difference in the game right now.
Johnson all alone, couple of fakes, now puts it up, rushed it. Oakley the rebound. Oakley with 8 boards to lead all rebounders.
Oakley averaging about 7 bounds a game. Both teams have been able to get in the paint, but have been intimidated, as we saw that time with LJ.
Oakley a little fake. And a foul on Camby on the entry pass. Camby picks up just his first.
Camby in foul woes actually fouled out of the previous game. Marcus also has not been an impact player in the game thus far. Camby only 2 points, has 5 bounds.
He has been such a big energy guy. Prefers to start. He started the last game, loved starting with this lineup, but huge difference on the boards. Houston tips it away. As much as the Sprewell Houston, tough to guard them scoring, the Knicks just a better team with the Sprewell Johnson Ewing front line.
And Marcus bringing that energy off the bench.
Foul call on Christie on the reach in. Again, we touched upon this a little bit earlier. When you have Latrell Sprewell as your small forward and he's 6'5", Larry Johnson as your power forward, and Johnson's about 6'5". They list him as 6'7", but he's really shorter. Those are 2 undersized players, very much undersized players in your front court. And that's why the rebounding has been such a problem, or one of the reasons.
Especially on the offensive glass for the Knicks.
Well, what the Knicks make up is Johnson makes his move. Misfires and rebounded by Oakley. The Knicks defense has really carried him for much of the season. The defense has been tops in the league throughout the season.
And another foul inside. Previously Camby, this time LJ.
Johnson picks up his 3rd.
So the Raptors looking to post inside, and the Knicks hacking them now. So the Knicks 2-team fouls.
No one scored yet here in the 3rd quarter. Carter makes his move. Wild shot. Ewing the rebound as Oakley mistimed his jump.
See, those are the shots we were saying previously that was the poor shot selection by Carter, but they were going in. Now he looks kind of foolish when he misses those type of shots.
Ewing has it. Finds Camby. Nice touch pass to Johnson. And Johnson this time lays it in.
LJ, after 2 consecutive misses in the paint, cans that one. Dazzling passing that time by the Knicks.
Marcus Camby with a couple of assists, and the Knicks are up by 5. It's their largest lead of the game.
And the Raptors looking for an offensive focus.
Antonio Davis posting up Ewing. Gets inside. Short rebound Oakley. Oakley's follow is good.
Oakley bounding and astounding. Oakley always around the offensive glass.
Charles Oakley's 36 years old in his 15th year. Still doing a lot of the dirty work.
Not as pugnacious as he used to be. Oakley just letting his play do the work now.
Ewing. Oakley went for the steal, and Ewing took advantage.
And that was an ill-advised attempt by Oakley, so Patrick showing his stuff.
Ewing, 2 of 3 from the field. Didn't play a lot in the first half, only 14 minutes.
Nice penetration by Williams.
Bad interior defense that time, and Alvin Williams an easy 2.
Yeah, he maintained his dribble, saw an opening, and took it, and no Knicks saw him until he was hooping off the glass. Sprewell, Houston silent early in the third.
Ewing posting up Oakley. There's Christie on the double team. Stripped but fouled. And Oakley picks up his third.
Ewing has had Mason guarding him in the previous game. Mason was able to deflect the ball away from Patrick, so Ewing has to do a better job of protecting the ball with his body. So a similar scenario for Oakley, but he got a piece of Ewing's hand.
Oakley with 10 rebounds tonight. Ewing 1 of 2 from the line. As we said in the last game, his free throw shooting has been just superb since he's returned. 88%, which would be well above his career and would be a career high by a long shot. It'd be tough for him to keep up in this pace.
Ewing's second in All-Star voting, which came out today at the center position behind Alonzo Mourning. And that's surprising.
Way off on the second. Knicks by 4, 3 minutes gone by in the third. First meeting between these two. They'll go at it 4 times this year. 2 teams that should contend for Eastern Conference positioning for playoff spots, and Antonio Davis lost it.
Yeah, good swarming double team that time, helping Ewing inside.
Again, Sprewell and Houston started the game, and starting here again the third quarter. Larry Johnson gets inside. Tough shot won't go. Davis, his rebound.
LJ now 1 of 4 in the paint.
Ball knocked away from behind. Alvin Williams gets it back, though.
The Raptors without a true point guard.
Christie spotting up for 3, way off. Ewing the rebound.
The Raptors have not made a three-pointer in the game thus far.
Christie trying to poke it away. Sprewell on the pull-up. And Latrell Sprewell knocks it down.
And that's why we tell the kids out there, if you shoot the ball, put an arc on it. And that's why, give it an opportunity to bounce in if you missed the shot. That time it hit the front of the rim and carry them in.
Sprewell 8 points, and the Knicks their largest lead again. Carter inside. Draws the foul and puts it in. Larry Johnson barely touched him, but it was absolutely a foul. Bad foul from Johnson. That's his 4th.
Carter, master of improvisation. So watch the creativity by this 6'6" Carter. Manipulating sideways that time, hearing the whistle and throwing up the ball. It went in. He will shoot 1 as well.
Carter's mom, by the way, as Charlie Ward comes back in, was a teacher. 21 years as a veteran of the teaching profession. Just recently retired from that to become his business manager. He has so many things off the court. It's a full-time job. They have a host of employees, and his mom managing it.
They're very close. She critiques his play after each game.
And she says he still listens to her.
You like to see that, though. That's unprecedented to my knowledge, where a mom was directing a guy.
Well, he's not a star on the court, but he's a good kid off the court as well. Has his priorities straight. Camby gets inside. Nice feed inside, and Ewing is fouled. Marcus Camby with a second excellent dish inside. And Ewing will go to the line for 2.
Previously Camby found LJ. This time Patrick the beneficiary. Watch the elusiveness of Camby. He's 6'11", creating off the dribble. So Patrick will shoot 2. Better look at it here. Bird's eye view as Camby wheels and deals inside.
Ewing misses another. Time for our upcoming schedule for the Knicks. Ewing now just 2 of 5 from the line from British Airways. 3-game road trip starting off Saturday in Indiana on NBC. Next Tuesday in New Jersey at the Meadowlands on Fox Sports Net. And then at the MCI Center in Washington back on MSG. Ewing badly missing. We were just talking about how well he's shooting free throws, but way off on his last 3.
That one like he just threw it up there, hoping that it might go in.
Carter, quick 3. Won't go. Sprewell the rebound. Sprewell with 3 boards, averaging over 5. Coast to coast, Sprewell blocked. And picked up by Williams. It was hard to see which Raptor got a piece of it.
Williams was there. Carter was there as well.
Oakley pulls up for the jumper. The high archer won't go. Camby the rebound. Quick handoff. And Sprewell will slow it down because it was a 1-on-3.
Yeah, vacillating pace, but neither team can their shots.
Sprewell
Tries to thread the needle, does to Ewing. Out to Houston for 3. It's good. Allen Houston from downtown. And the Knicks up by 7. This is their largest lead.
And the Knicks three-point shooting propelling them now, whereas the Raptors have yet to can a three-pointer.
Knicks 4 of 9 from that distance. They hit 7 the other night against Charlotte.
Good articulation this time by the Raptors.
Carter posting up on Allen Houston.
No double team.
And a foul on Houston. Count it, and 1. Carter, it looked like an impossible angle, puts it in. And he'll get a chance for a three-point play.
And we've seen that all tonight. This will be his second opportunity for a three-point play.
He's got 22. It's nearly 30 years, and now when people talk about the ultimate basketball team, and not just in New York, around the country, they refer to the 69-70 Knicks.
Right. Perhaps the smartest team to ever play, because I was the orchestrator.
There we go. No humble pie for you earlier today.
That cider fermented too long. But
ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Christie. Good double team with Oakley. 7 on the shot clock.
That's why you want to stay away from the sideline. Those guys can use that line as an extra man.
Christie's such a ball hawk. Houston catch. Quick shot. Now and Houston smooth that time, and the Knicks back up by 6.
Houston has slowly started to percolate. Previously he was downtown that time along the baseline.
Houston now 7 of 13 from the field. Williams kicks it out. Christie from long range. Won't go. Ewing the rebound.
You see what's happening now. Look at
what
Carter.
a steal by Carter. Offensive foul. Charlie Ward stepped in and drew the charge. Carter, Butch that is, very upset. He wanted to see if Ward was in the restricted area.
And Vince Carter in the stratosphere to make the steal. That was an incredible sign of leaping by Carter.
And he's got 4 fouls now. Let's take a look.
Watch the incredible leaping ability of this man. Watch the lob by Ewing. Carter pulls it out of the air. Right there. That's a good call. Ward sacrificing his body.
And he was above the dotted line, the restricted area. I think that's what Butch Carter was complaining about. Sprewell knocks it in. Latrell Sprewell now in double figures, and the Knicks an 8-point advantage. This their largest.
And Spree and Houston again providing the offensive punch now. So Houston with 5 points previously. Sprewell that time along the baseline.
Sprewell having another solid all-around game. 10 points, 3 boards, good defense. Carter falling back, knocks it in. He's got 25.
And he's averaging 23 on the season. Season high has been 39, also a career high for Carter.
A foul on Alvin Williams. That's his 3rd. And the Raptors starting to pile up the personals right now with 5:10 remaining in this 3rd quarter. That's the 14th foul.
And the Knicks also with 14 fouls. Neither team has been efficient from the free throw line.
McGrady is in. Christie sits down. There you see Carter's numbers. He's done a little bit of everything. Some inside, some perimeter shots.
He has the 3 fouls now, though. Can't be as aggressive on the D.
He's got 4 fouls.
Yep.
Camby, Ewing, Ward. That's a 3. And Carter the rebound.
It's been a funky pace tonight.
Ward tips it away. Ahead now to Sprewell. Gorgeous pass. Sprewell knocks it back. Houston able to pick it up, drives inside, and stripped by Alvin Williams.
Yeah, Oakley hounding him as well.
Excellent defensive play by the Raptors. Good hustle from both teams. And the pace picks up just a bit. They go to Kevin Willis.
They're spreading out the court now, making the Knicks play D.
Alvin Williams. 3 won't go. Kevin Willis tips it. Look at Camby knock it out of his hands.
Yeah, after Ewing mistimed his jump.
Camby has about 4 or 5 of those a game where he doesn't get credited with the rebound, but he's responsible for the team getting the rebound.
Good hustle this time by Marcus.
But this time Alvin Williams anticipates it. Williams flips it up. Shot is good.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. No foul call. He did put his elbow on Ward. And dramatic hoop by Williams in transition.
Knicks lead is 4, just under 4 to play in the 3rd. Another entertaining game. The Charlotte overtime victory the other night, certainly fun for the fans. And once again, the sellout crowd, 310th consecutive, enjoying this one.
Yeah, these are 2 contenders in the Eastern Conference.
Ewing to Houston. 3-pointer won't go. And McGrady high for the rebound.
You see his hops high above the rim was McGrady. He's 6'8".
Willis stripped by Ewing.
Willis has to protect the ball.
The veteran Kevin Willis, couple of fakes, puts it up, won't go. And a loose ball foul against Charles Oakley. Oakley upset with the call. That's his fourth.
Good boxing out by Canby that time, so the Knicks will bring it up.
Oakley right at Jim Capers.
Capers
Oakley now and Vince Carter each with 4.
Capers doing a good job of ignoring Oakley. And you like that by the NBA officials, as now the Knicks will look to capitalize. Canby will go to the line for 2.
Jim Capers, one of the good young officials in the league, as Canby will shoot from the free throw line. He's 2 for 2 tonight. 2 points, 6 rebounds. You know, we talked the other night, Clyde, about Anthony Mason and him being a unique player because he's tough to match up. He's got skills of a certain kind of player, yet the size of another. Canby's the same way as Wallace comes in for Houston. He's a difficult matchup. He's a very unique player in terms of his ability to run the floor.
Yeah, his athleticism makes him different. He can block a shot, field a lane, and end up dunking on the other end with his quickness.
He was saying the other day, we talked about playing in the backcourt with Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell starting in the backcourt. Canby said if they have trouble bringing it up, I can bring it up. He did. He was that one spurt in high school, so he has the ability to handle the ball well.
Again, the Raptors relying on some bench players. So are the Knicks with Wallace in the game.
McGrady on the leader, won't go. Ewing tips it out. Charlie Ward in the middle of all the trees there, pulls it down.
That time a good defensive effort by Wallace.
Ewing running the floor but can't finish.
We see Ewing no legs to finish the shot.
Muggsy Bogues pushing it up and pushing up the shot, knocking it in.
And that's why Bogues is still in the lead. He developed that little pull-up jumper, a little 15-footer.
Knicks lead is 4, 2.5 remaining in the third. Wallace, the big offensive first half.
They're taking him out now with the double team.
Canby holds on to his pivot foot. Shot clock down to 5. Sprewell has Bogues on him. Now here comes a double team. Sprewell tries to get away, flips it up, shot won't go. Rebound, Canby tips it, and good effort from Antonio Davis.
Bogues hurries up the court. They better get up on him. He's going to try to exploit Wallace. He had a mismatch.
And a foul on Tracy McGrady, pushing off on Charlie Ward to get free. Butch Carter's a couple of feet out on the floor. He's upset. Now walking back toward the bench. Now coming out again.
Yeah, McGrady 6'8", Ward only 6'2". Ill-advised foul by McGrady.
First half, Knicks came back. Knicks led by as many as 8 here in this third quarter. And of course, Anheuser-Busch saluting parents who talk to their kids about drinking. We all make a difference, especially here at holiday time. As Vince Carter, 25 points. The rest of the team, you see there, 15 of 41 from the field. It's not just the Vince Carter show. He's got a lot of help. They're not as playing some of the other supporters on this team, not having the games they normally have. Sprewell gets inside. Wallace on the pull-up. John Wallace knocks it in. He's now 6 of 7 from the field. 14 points in 11 minutes.
But marvelous creativity by Spree. Going into the paint, drawing 3 players and finding Wallace along the baseline.
McGrady to Bogues.
See, the Raptors have become a perimeter team. No interior play for them.
Canby blocks it right back to Davis. Davis inside, blocked by Charlie Ward. And Canby with the save.
And the Knicks hurrying up the court now, but the Raptors do a good job in getting back.
Wallace inside, double team, taken away by Kevin Willis.
Someone has to pick up Bogues.
Antonio Davis, Sprewell blocked it from behind, and it's Nick Ball. Latrell Sprewell doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, tenacious interior D by the Knicks. Previously, the 2 block shots. Let's take a look at it. Watch Canby smack it back. Davis, undaunted, gets inside. The diminutive Ward rejects his shot. So good D by Charlie.
Sprewell hits it. Latrell Sprewell, a little on the offense, a little on the defense, and getting it done to give the Knicks an 8-point lead.
The Raptors continue to misfire from the perimeter.
Carter off the mark. Canby the rebound. Canby now with 8 boards. Ward setting it up. McGrady on Sprewell. Sprewell drives inside. The runner puts it in. Latrell Sprewell having a terrific third quarter.
Dishing and swishing and defending is Sprewell.
And the Knicks, their largest lead of the game, a 10-point advantage. They trailed by 10 in the first half. Camby fronting Antonio Davis. Bogue swings it. McGrady fakes the three. Wallace defends him well, but McGrady puts it in. That's a tough shot. And the shot clock is turned off. Final seconds, third quarter.
There's a double. Knicks have to protect the ball.
Sprewell looks up. He'll go with McGrady. Bogues comes to double team. Ward dribbling inside, forces it up, tried to draw the foul. And there's the buzzer ending the third quarter. And the Knicks add to their lead. 3 quarters complete here at the Garden. An 8-point advantage.
Darf ich bitte mal Ihre Einladung sehen?
Klar, das hier ist meine Einladung.
Ein Mann, ein Wort. Jamie Lee Curtis und Arnold Schwarzenegger beim Galopp durch die High Society.
War ja wieder mal problemlos. Einfach durch die Vordertür.
Nimm mal kurz dein Grinsen weg.
Für diese Bilder hat Hollywood keinen Cent gespart. Auf der Achterbahn durch die Welt der Special Effects. True Lies auf Cine Action.
Du bist gefeuert.
So, da wären wir mit den Highlights des dritten Viertels und da achten wir mal auf die New York Knicks. Wir haben in unseren Schlüsseln zum Sieg gesagt, ganz wichtig für dieses Team, wenn sie gewinnen wollen, auch Ausgeglichenheit. Viele müssen punkten. Larry Johnson tat das im dritten Viertel, Patrick Ewing hat das gemacht im dritten Viertel und vor allem Allen Houston. Houston von außen heute, wie gewohnt, sehr, sehr treffsicher. Aber eben diese Ausgeglichenheit in diesem Team, das der Erfolg. Deswegen liegen sie mit 70-62 vorne. Bei Toronto nur ein Name, Vince Carter. Er allein muss die Offensivlast tragen bei den Raptors. Das macht er bisher auch sehr gut, aber da muss natürlich irgendwo Unterstützung kommen. Ein Doug Christie, ein Antonio Davis oder auch ein Tracy McGrady. Dann wird es auch ein spannendes viertes Viertel geben.
Especially on the interior. So they've displayed some good shot blocking ability as well.
Sprewell, a three. It's good. Latrell Sprewell from downtown. And the Knicks up by 11.
That's the grandeur Spree these days, the consummate player. So good creativity off the dribble for other people and also finding the range now for himself.
He's got 17. Opening minute here in the fourth. Willis turns and shoots and puts it in. You know, Clyde, we said this the other day, but I think Sprewell, and you look at his shooting numbers, he's 41% from the field. If he's up to around 46, 47%, which is his normal career numbers, he'd be averaging close to 25 a game. People will be talking about him as an MVP candidate. Puts it in again.
Well, right now, he's not even among the leaders in all-star balloting. So maybe the backlash around the country, people not voting for Sprewell. Houston third among the guards, and we mentioned Ewing second among the centers in all-star voting.
So an 11-point lead. Willis underneath, knocked away by Sprewell, still wrapped the ball. As you look, he's averaging 5 rebounds a game. He's also averaging, leading the team in assists at over 4 a game. The only players in the league that are averaging, 20 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds are Grant Hill and Gary Payton. And those two are always talked about as MVP candidates and a 22nd timeout call by the Raptors. But Sprewell and Camby igniting the Knicks here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the most popular player in the league right now is Alonzo Mourning. He received the most votes for the All-Star. So Sprewell not among the leaders in All-Star balloting, but Knick fans, he's number one in their hearts. So Spree has been swishing the nets in dramatic fashion. That time a fortuitous bounce, but this time straight through. Watch the creativity off the dribble here. So he's shown good versatility in this game and also good altruism in helping his teammates score as well.
And 13 of the 19 points have come here in the third quarter. Both players getting their points and shooting well. Carter's taking some wild shots, but Sprewell's shot selection this year, you rarely see him take a bad shot.
Right, he's playing with more patience and poise. But what happened, Mike, once you're traded that first year, you don't realize how much stress or duress you're under, but in the second year, you're kind of more composed, and I found that when I was traded to Cleveland.
You learn the system, you learn about your teammates.
And your environment, off the court, too. I didn't have my roles there the first year, and my fur coat.
Shot blocked by McGrady. Del Curry in the action for the first time. Bogues passing up on the three. Curry a quick three. Shot won't go. Kevin Willis tips it. Good boxing out from Kurt Thomas, and Willis just couldn't get enough on it.
Cam been keeping the ball above his head that time and keeping it away from Bogues.
Sprewell again, a three-pointer for Latrell Sprewell. 16 points here in the third quarter.
And we've seen this type of eruption before from Spree. Now mystifying the Raptors. They have to get up and double team him.
But check that. I keep adding to a third quarter. We're early in the fourth as McGrady gets inside. He had the points, much of his points in the third quarter, but now keeping it up here in the fourth. And I'll take a much-needed break as the Knicks lead by 12. Ewing tonight, 6.6 boards, a block shot. Knicks up by 12. And again, Sprewell erupting here in the second half. I mentioned all the points in the third, but we are now in the fourth. Sprewell 16 of his 22 in the second half.
And he's been feasting with the jumper. Surprisingly, the Raptors not looking to double team Spree, make him give up the ball.
Kurt Thomas hauls down another rebound. He's got 8. An 11-point lead, still very early here in the fourth.
This is a good defensive unit in there for the Raptors now. They know they must tighten up their D.
Sprewell. McGrady comes up on him. Sprewell fires. That one he forced. Thomas puts up the follow.
Well, when you swarm on the defense, you're vulnerable to the offensive bounds. Because when the ball went up, 2 guys weren't Spree, so Thomas the beneficiary.
So the lead is 13. This is the largest of the game for the Knicks. Antonio Davis steps back, puts up the jumper. Well short. Wallace the rebound.
If Carter's going to be a superstar, he must step up now. His team in Dar needed points, so he has to start trying to take over this game.
Haven't seen him touch the ball all that much recently.
Yep. Now he has the mismatch with Ewing, doing a good job there defensively, denying Ewing.
Sprewell trying to take McGrady. Gets into the paint, kicks it out Wallace. Wallace spinning. Wild shot from Wallace. Kurt Thomas the offensive board.
Resounding rebounding by Kurt. Now if Spree wants a screen, Carter gets over.
Sprewell on the drive. Spinning inside, left-handed. Shot won't go. The follow is good. And Sprewell has 10 points here in the fourth.
Spree very effervescent on the shot. You see the Raptors looking after Sprewell missed his shot. He continued up and also hooped off the glass.
And a standing ovation for Latrell Sprewell and the Knicks. 10 points in the first 3.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. 24 for the game and a 15-point lead. 212-465-6465 deadline March 1st. Carter flips it up. Won't go. Ewing keeps it alive. So does Carter. Wallace the rebound. And Charlie Ward coming the other way. Sprewell gets inside. Head fake. Nice feed. Thomas not expecting it, and it goes out of bounds.
Spree averaging almost 3 turnovers a game, and that's his only nemesis as a player thus far this season.
For the Knicks, their 11th turnover. High post Davis.
See, they're trying to feature Carter now, but previously he misfired inside. He has to step up. Step up time.
Tough shot from Carter. Does not get it. Ball tipped by Antonio Davis. And he's fouled on the follow.
Yeah, ferocious play that time by the 6'9" Davis. Had stuffing on his mind, but Knicks denied him, but he will shoot 2.
John Wallace is second.
Take a look at the action inside. Carter will misfire along the baseline. Davis inside the left side, keeping it alive and going up strong.
Davis misses the first free throw. John Wallace claps in front of him. Davis has words back to him. Doug Christie back in the game.
Davis only 1 of 6 from the line. Antonio, second-round draft choice initially by the Pacers, honed his skills in Europe for a couple of years before coming to the NBA.
Davis, though, gets the offensive rebound. Carter doubled. Muggsy Bogues making his move. The push shot. Shot won't go. Ewing hauls down the rebound.
Ewing now with 7 boards. 15-point Knicks lead, 7.5 remaining in the fourth. Carter now on Sprewell.
The mismatch is inside with Thomas.
Sprewell feeling it. This time long on the shot, and Christie the board. Bogues pushing it up the floor. Oakley left open.
Oakley
nice feed inside, and Antonio Davis completes it.
Oakley reluctant to shoot, but then a marvelous pass behind the back.
Charles Oakley with his second assist. The Knicks lead cut to 13. Kurt Thomas posting up Christie. Good mismatch in the Knicks' favor there. Here's the double team. Kick it out to Wallace. Wallace spinning and lost it out of bounds. More substitutions. Allen Houston will check back in.
Sprewell would take his seat. A much-deserved rest for Sprewell. Crescendo of cheers and applause as he goes to the bench.
24 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of assists.
Spree still among the leaders in minutes played, actually second in the league behind Michael Finley of Dallas.
Carter trying to get free. Jeff Van Gundy going with size on him. John Wallace is guarding him. Carter inside left-handed, and he draws the foul.
So the Knicks had trouble in the first quarter giving up the baseline. This time Carter's very elusive along the baseline, so he's able to get there to draw the foul.
Foul is on Patrick Ewing, and that's his second. Raptors go to the line. Raptors have been horrible from the line tonight, just 11 of 21.
And they entered this game shooting collectively 76%. That's well above the league average.
That's Carter's number, 76%. He hits the first now with 26 points.
None when they counted, though. He can't get the big baskets now. This is the time he has to assert himself.
11-point lead with 6.5 to play. Wallace makes his move on Davis, pulls up, blocked by Carter, rejected out of bounds. Still Knick ball 10 on the shot clock.
See the denial by Davis, took away the baseline, and then Oakley helping out. So the Knicks will retain it.
They lob it into Ewing. Ewing makes his move. Double team, kicks it out Houston. Quick pass Thomas, turnaround shot is good. Excellent ball movement. And Kurt Thomas now 8 points, 10 boards.
And this is a motley crew of Knicks in the game, but they continue to be very cohesive.
That's Allen Houston's 5th assist. Knicks back up 13. Carter.
Oh, Allen, look up. He never saw the ball. He could have intercepted it.
I think Wallace deflected it. Oakley fakes and draws the foul. And they're going to call it a 2-shot foul as Oakley will go to the line. 3rd foul against Thomas.
Oakley showing his 15 seasons of savoir-faire that time. Saw Thomas out of control, leaped into him to get to the line.
Oakley, of course, as we mentioned, in his 15th year, still one of the ultimate intangible guys. Not only what he does on the court, Clyde, but off the court. And a perfect example for him was this year. The team was in Salt Lake City, ready to play the Jazz. They were in there on Thanksgiving Day. Now, nobody wants to be on the road on Thanksgiving Day, but hopefully to try and get the team together. He got in a taxi and found a place to buy a ping pong table, set up the ping pong table with the balls, the net, the paddles, and had kind of a makeshift tournament for the entire Raptors team, just to get everybody together early in the season, chemistry. Afterward, he donated the table to a local YMCA, but a lot of the players pointed to that as, you know, just a smart idea by an experienced guy to get everyone together.
Yeah, Oakley was similar with the Knicks, always keeping the team together. Also a very astute businessman with his car washes throughout the New York area.
By the way, Muggsy Bogues won the ping pong tournament.
He barely looks over the table. How did that happen?
Sprewell makes his move, stripped, picked up by Bogues. Sprewell felt he got fouled. 3-on-2 break. Oakley charges into Charlie Ward. Oakley furious with the call as Ward gives up his body. And Oakley now with 5 fouls.
Second time we've seen that from Ward. He also baffled Carter one time along the baseline, this time duping the Oakman, so the Knicks will bring it up.
Butch Carter and Charles Oakley screaming. Charles Oakley close to a technical foul. Vince Carter telling Oakley, hey, turn around and play. Sprewell kicks it back out to Ward.
See, they've started doubling Spree. Other players are open now.
Thomas misses, though, and Vince Carter the rebound. 84-73. Knicks up by 11. 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Carter gets inside, puts it up, shot won't go. Antonio Davis stripped by Sprewell. And Ward slows it down. Christie knocks it away from behind.
That's why Christie among the leaders in steals.
Bogues out to Christie. Wide open three. Puts it in. Doug Christie from downtown. And just like that, it's cut to 8. Now Jeff Van Gundy wants timeout.
That's their first three-pointer of the night. So Christie had a hand in both. He made the steal, then he was the recipient from downtown.
Defense very strong again after the first quarter. 3-point shooting. Knicks had the edge there, although Doug Christie just hit a big three. Latrell Sprewell having a terrific second half. John Wallace playing some big minutes. And a typical Vince Carter performance.
A prudent timeout that time by Van Gundy to try and break their momentum. Also, he knows his team's pincher for squandering leads down the stretch. So trying to organize them during that timeout.
Sprewell back in the game with Houston, Ward, Ewing, and Camby. Ward finding Houston. 8 on the shot clock. Houston back to Ward for 3. Way off the mark. Carter high for the rebound. He's got 7 boards as well.
Average 6 on the season.
Bogues slowing it down. Looking for Christie.
Good denial inside by Sprewell.
Davis and a foul. Antonio Davis got bumped by Ewing and put it in. And it's now a 6-point lead with a free throw coming up.
Davis has been dreadful from the line. The only 1 of 6, but this time penetrating the baseline. There he saw the contact and the continuation.
Ewing his 3rd foul. As we mentioned, Antonio Davis came into the game shooting 83% from the free throw line. Normally he's below 70 for his career. But as Clyde said, 1 of 6 hits that one, and it's a 5-point game.
Because the Raptors have tightened up their defense. Good communication, getting over the screens with gusto, and the Knicks have become a perimeter team.
A 12-2 run.
Good screen by Ewing. Carter gets over it.
Ewing, single coverage with Oakley.
He has to protect the ball.
Across the lane. Oakley knocks it away, and Bogues comes up with it.
See, Ewing got the ball too far from his body.
Oakley certainly, he's used to all of Ewing's moves. They practiced against him and with him for so many years. Carter inside, puts it in. Vince Carter knocks it through, and it's a 3-point game.
And the Knicks with the Matador D that time. Carter eluding 3 Knicks as he hooped off the glass.
And a 22nd timeout. The run is now 14-2. As the Knicks have seen this 15-point lead.
Let's not give it up now, but the Knicks still in the doldrums.
Sprewell goes to Houston, shoots over Christie, shot no good. Oakley another rebound, his 11th.
Now the Knicks need some D. They're still the best defensive team in the league against field goal percentage.
Knicks haven't scored in nearly 3 minutes. Davis blocked by Ewing. Oakley the rebound and throws it back out to Christie. Christie now fires away. Shot no good. Ball taken by Camby, knocked off Oakley's chest, and it's going to be Knick ball.
Oakley omnipresent on the glass, but that time a good denial by Camby, so the Knicks will bring it up.
Marcus Camby showing some toughness as the Knicks will bring it up with a 3-point lead under 3 minutes to play.
The other problem for the Knicks, they are in the penalty. The Raptors no team fouls. They can continue to harass the Knicks.
Sprewell looking to post up Carter. Instead facing. Davis goes to double. Sprewell gets away. Shot clock down to 6. Houston makes his move. Inside to Ewing. Ward puts up a 3-pointer. Off the rim. And Antonio Davis tracks it down.
Knicks in disarray now on the offense.
2.5 remaining. A 3-point Knick lead.
The Raptors need to penetrate, try to get a foul, and take points off the board with the clock stopped.
Muggsy Bogues. Carter. Sprewell went for the steal. Carter misses it. And Ewing tries to save it, but it goes out of bounds. Raptor ball.
Get Oakley. He's spent. Playing with reckless abandon now. Starting to take a toll on the Oakman.
2:16 remaining. A 3-point Knick lead and a new 24 clock for the Raptors.
And again, the Knicks no fouls to give.
Knicks haven't scored now in 4 minutes. Carter stripped by Camby, but a foul, and Vince Carter will shoot 2 as Marcus Camby picks up his 2nd.
That's the play they needed. Now they can close the gap. The clock not moving, and the Knicks starting to unravel.
The Knicks led by 15 with 8.5 minutes remaining. But Butch Carter's team slowly coming back as Vince Carter will go to the line. Larry Johnson set to check back in. Carter now with 30 points. And, of course, coming up tonight after the postgame report, Marv will have MSG Sports Test presented by Chevrolet. Vince Carter will be in the studio, plus NHL action. And Hideki Arabu, a Yankee no more. 2:12 remaining, fourth quarter. The Knicks down by 2. Another free throw coming up for Toronto. Phoenix already in the penalty. And the Raptors have no team fouls here in the fourth, but of course in the last 2 minutes all you need is 2 to go into the penalty.
But is it a belated attempt by the Raptors? You only get so many runs in you. Right now they're close, but they still have not tied up the game, so the Knicks still have the upper hand. They need to regain their composure.
Sprewell, Clyde, had 10 points in the first 3.5 minutes of the period, and that's when the Knicks went up by 15. But they have done a good job doubling him and forcing him to give up the ball as Carter with another free throw.
When you're on the road, it's not enough to get close. You got to get that lead and maintain it.
Carter misses that one. Ewing the rebound. 2-point Knick lead as we approach 2 minutes remaining. Toronto right now on an 11-0 run as Camby brings the ball up.
Sprewell had been infallible, and Houston has been on the bench.
Christie, good defense on Houston.
LJ also just coming off the bench. This is the man that propelled him.
Sprewell with Bogues on him. 3 on the shot clock. Camby has to put it up. The high arc. That's good. Marcus Camby as the shot clock expires.
And that's what the Raptors wanted. They wanted to take it from Spree, force Camby to the perimeter, but he was able to get it down.
And that's the Knicks' first points in 4.5 minutes. It's Camby's first field goal of the game.
Now the Raptors down by 4.
Minute and a half left. Chance of defense from the sold-out Garden. Carter spinning. Ewing tries to shut him off. Christie, a wide-open 3. Off the mark. Antonio Davis, a big rebound. And a new 24 again. Johnson on Carter. Nobody comes over to help. And Vince Carter, an easy 2.
And that's inexplicable. Carter, they know, is looking to get to the hoop. They left him one-on-one with LJ, so he was rising along the baseline.
Camby again bringing the ball up with Carter guarding him. Nearly throws it away, and they call Christie for a foul. However, it's only the first team foul, so they're 1 away from the penalty. First in the last 2 minutes, Knicks will inbound.
Knicks get a break there. So watch this replay. Watch LJ. See Camby right there. See him leave the area of the screen. He should have stayed there.
And you see Clyde, Charles Oakley screening off Patrick Ewing down low where Ewing could not get near him. Again, the intangibles of Oakley.
And Carter rising majestically for the stuff.
Remaining. This was a game the Knicks started and had a 10-point deficit in the first half. Came back strong, erupted in the third and early fourth to go up by 15. But now Toronto storming back, and the Knicks, for the second straight game, will have to hold off a furious rally.
The Raptors with a ferocious defense. Tighten up their defense, had the Knicks in disarray, forcing up ill-advised shots, and they were able to capitalize with Carter and his shenanigans propelling them back into the game.
Camby, Ewing, Johnson, Sprewell, and Houston. And again, the big lineup out there for the Knicks.
And the crowd trying to arouse their heroes from the doldrums now.
Oakley giving Johnson plenty of room.
Sprewell, the mismatch.
Sprewell on Muggsy Bogues, leans in, shot no good. Rebound Antonio Davis. Bogues pushing it up the other way, under a minute remaining. Chance of defense again. Christie with Houston on him.
They want Carter. There he is. Too far out, though. He needs to be closer to the hoop.
Using an Oakley screen. Fires. Puts it in. Vince Carter again, and the game is tied.
Carter showing fortitude and aptitude, knowing where he can some shots. Knowing that if he goes inside, he can be double teamed. That time, a good screen by the Oak man freeing him up. He was able to drain the jumper.
And the Knicks shoot
up when the game is on the line. Early on, I said that about Vince. And he was languishing on the offense, but down the stretch, he has displayed superstar qualities.
He has their last 7 points, and 9 of his 34 have come here in the fourth quarter. He also has 7 rebounds.
And he's shown it with good versatility in his game. He's been able to penetrate inside, and he's also been able to come on the perimeter to hit the jumper.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the Toronto defense. Carter's defense, Doug Christie, and Antonio Davis doubling up outside and then rotating and getting back. It's been superb defense from the Raptors.
And the ubiquity of the Oak man as well. So Oakley always in there creating havoc.
So the Knicks will bring it up in a tie game.
Again, the mismatch with Spree and Bogues.
Bowles is a mismatch against anyone. He's used to this. He's actually a pretty good post defender because he has so much experience.
Again, look at the Knicks confused here. Do not know where to go.
Ewing turns, puts it in. Patrick Ewing rattles it home, and the Knicks back up by 2.
And that time, vintage Ewing, good patience, as he posted inside and was able to drain the jumper.
And a problem with the clock, so they quickly blow the whistle and check. There's 20.5 on it right now, as you see, and the shot clock is turned off.
It's been a long time since Ewing has come up with a big hoop for the Knicks. So that time igniting the crowd with his shooting.
Well, he did hit some big ones against Miami last year in Game 5. And they go up by 2. There's the time remaining. Shot clock turned off. Toronto not calling a timeout in this situation. Carter for 3. No. Off the mark. Rebound taken by Larry Johnson. And Johnson quickly fouled with 8.6 seconds remaining. And some very key free throws coming up, Clyde.
And also Vince Carter trying to be the hero. He had more than enough time to put up a good shot. So rather than try to tie the game, he went for the winning shot from downtown. He misfired.
Patrick Ewing accepting congratulations from all his teammates as he goes down the floor, but this one far from over. This is the first free throw of the 4th quarter for the Knicks. Johnson is 1 for 1 tonight from the free throw line, and for the season he's at 78%.
Made some big free throws in the previous game against his former team. Charlotte did, LJ.
Hits the first one, hit 2 clutch ones that really held off the Hornets the other night, Clyde.
And now when you make the first one, folks, the pressure's off. So normally if a guy makes that first one, he's definitely going to can the second one.
And now Butch Carter uses one of his timeouts, so he has 2 remaining. 8.6 seconds remaining. Knicks lead by 3. One more free throw coming up for Johnson. He looks relaxed. Very big free throw. Now the concentration from Johnson. Puts it in. And the Knicks lead by 4. And now Butch Carter will talk it over. Huge clutch free throws from Larry Johnson with 8.6 seconds remaining. And Clyde, Patrick Ewing, as you mentioned, hitting the big shot. Ewing has played 33 minutes tonight, and he's only taken 5 shots. And for those who say that he has not changed his game and has to be more unselfish, tonight is a perfect example of how he's adjusted his game. And he, as he said earlier tonight, as we had on MCS Cannon Game Night, an interview done yesterday, he's just trying to fit in.
Right. And watch the composure this time by Ewing. See, he lets Carter clear through. Now they can't double team him. So Antonio Davis, 6'9", no match that time for the 7-foot Ewing.
Ewing 8 points and 8 rebounds. And single coverage that time. And Ewing, although he knows he's been unselfish and is giving up the ball more, still feels he can come through it crunch time, and you see the way his game has progressed over the years. Now this year it's down to 10.3. That's going to go up a little bit as he feels more comfortable and gets more healthy, but it's been a gradual process of it going down because he doesn't have to always be the guy to take the big shots. He now has confidence in his teammates.
Right, and that can prolong your career, Mike, when you have this type of scenario now. Not have to know on every night that you have to go out to try to do something for you to be victorious, but just chip in and do what's needed to win, and that's what Ewing has done tonight.
So 8.6 seconds remaining. Toronto still has 1 timeout left. Any foul, and the Knicks in the penalty. Game's not over yet, again, because the Raptors have a timeout left. If they score quickly, they'll try and either steal or foul.
We've seen folly from the Knicks before in this scenario.
Oakley tipped by Ward. Carter down low to Davis. Davis blocked by Ewing. Davis again stuffs it in with 4.7 remaining. Sprewell gets it. He's fouled. And now the Knicks have to hit free throws again. So smart play by Toronto, scoring quickly, although Ewing with a strong rejection. Ewing limping a little bit after that.
Yeah, Antonio Davis undaunted. So watch this. Ewing flexes. Davis undaunted as he got it back and stuffed it through. Very little time had he lapsed off the clock. So good clock management that time by the Raptors.
Sprewell now with big free throws. His first free throw attempts of the night.
Sprewell illuminated them in the 3rd and 4th quarters. He was the only Knick with the hot hand.
And the door is still open.
The Raptors only 1 3-pointer tonight.
And there's 4.1 seconds remaining. Toronto still has a timeout, so they get the rebound. They get it at half court. This is a big free throw to make it a 3-point game.
Spree, their best free throw shooter, 86%.
It would force Toronto to have to go for the 3. Sprewell hits it, And now Butch Carter will use his last timeout. Sprewell upset with himself for missing the first. Toronto will get it at half court with 4.1 remaining and a 3-point Knick lead.
Yeah, see, he jumped on one leg. All of his pressure was on his left leg that time.
That's his third block shot. And there you see Ewing going down with just a slight limp.
Yeah, he's testing it gingerly there. And nothing more vexing for a player when you are in and out of the lineup with injuries. Time you started to get your game together, then you got to miss 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It becomes very frustrating.
Now the Raptors will send out Oakley, Carter, Alvin Williams, Doug Christie, and Del Curry. Remember, Curry here last year hit a three-pointer when he was a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, and that to beat the Knicks. That was back in February. Hit a three-pointer with about 3 seconds left.
But Curry has been injured, has not played much in the game. He might be a decoy right now.
Yep, he's inbounding. 1 of 9 from three-point range, the Raptors tonight. And a delay of game warning. Ewing is out right now. Johnson, Houston, Sprewell, Ward, and Camby.
Carter and Christie, their other three-point shooters.
Clyde, do you try and foul before they get the shot?
Yeah, I'll foul.
And there it is. Sprewell fouls right away. Do not give them the chance. And that's a smart play because you don't give them the chance to tie it with a 3. And especially now with Toronto out of timeouts, if it comes down to Knicks shooting free throws down the other end, they won't get it at half court. They have to go the full length.
Precisely. So you lengthen the court against them, and then why take a chance with a team lucking in a three-point shot to tie the game?
So Carter will shoot 2, 3.3 remaining.
This way you control your destiny better than allowing them to try to luck up a three-point shot.
First one's good. Now the question, does Vince Carter try and miss the free throw and hope for the rebound?
Remember, Carter missed one of his free throws previously. But again, missing a free throw is not as easy as it seems, because you want the ball to come down in the middle of the lane and not veer out along the baseline, the sideline.
Kurt Thomas and Ewing back in for the rebound, hopefully right next to Thomas.
And you want it in the lane because when you get the rebound, you have ample time to put it in the basket. Whereas if it goes along the baseline, the clock is going to expire.
Carter hits both. It's a 1-point game. Knicks now have to inbound. Raptors will try and steal or get a foul. Johnson running the floor, gets it to Sprewell, and Sprewell fouled. Again, the Knicks were out of timeout, so they had to get the ball in bounds. Now Sprewell back to the line. There's still 2.9 remaining, so even if Sprewell hits both and it's a 3-point lead, the Raptors still have a chance to tie it with a 3.
But now it's going to have to be a long three-pointer from the backcourt.
Right, they have to inbound. The only time you can get it to half court is when you get the rebound, call timeout, don't advance the ball, and then you get it at half court.
So one of those timeouts that Carter used to try to ice LJ, he should have reserved that timeout. This is the one that he needs now.
So Sprewell to the line for 2. 2.9 seconds remain. Sprewell misses again. Now Clyde. Does he miss this one to have the ball carry him off and take some extra seconds off? Or does he try and hit this one?
Yeah, you might as well miss it because if they make a three-pointer, you lose anyway. So if he makes it, they're still only up by 2. If they make a three-pointer, the Knicks will lose. So I will miss this one. It doesn't matter.
Alan Houston just gave Sprewell some words, a messenger perhaps from Van Gundy, whether or not he'll miss it to try and again get the clock started. Sprewell short. Christie gets it. Christie now driving, puts it up a three-pointer at the buzzer, off the mark, and the Knicks hold on and win. An exciting finish again here at the Garden, and their second straight quality win against one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. A little too wild down the stretch, I'm sure, for Jeff Van Gundy, Clyde.
Floundering again down the stretch, but they had enough to hold on. And what about their free throw shooting? Houston, last year, their best free throw shooter, he's been shaky down the stretch. Tonight, it was Sprewell from the line.